You do recognize the height at which you see these sort of disturbances in the foliage. It does look similar enough that you feel like maybe this could be the party that you're looking for.
Okay, cool.
Not only that, but you also kind of feel, it's hard to describe, but it's like you can feel like a tinge of Fey energy that is inhabiting this space that you didn't feel, only a few steps before.
Okay. I'll look over to Tristan and go, yeah, this definitely seems like it's my party. Let's keep moving this way.
All right. Run and talk. When we get there, what exactly is the plan?
Well, I mean, our plan was to just convene with the Moonspeaker Druids and figure out, a best way to work with them to take down whatever the cult is doing out here and just get this figured out so that we stop the attacks on the city.
And you said you don't know what the cult's plan is exactly?
No.
All right, I have no choice but to trust your word on that.
I mean, we literally have no clue. Honestly, I have no reason to lie to you on that. It's, we were kind of brought into it a little more suddenly than we anticipated. Considering they decided to launch an attack on the inn that we were staying at. And so that brought us into it sooner than anticipated, but otherwise we really just were trying to get something figured out and kind of resolve the issues of the place that we were temporarily staying at.
You don't need me to tell you this, but if you keep trying to fix other people's problems for them, eventually it's going to bite you back in a big way.
Yeah, well, we don't necessarily actively go out of our way to do this. It just so happens that we end up getting inevitably pulled into it and rather do something about it than just ignore it and continue moving on, just to have it come bite us in the back again.
You can see he's, as you're kind of running together, you notice two things. First off, there's definitely a lot of gears turning in his head as he runs. He's clearly trying to like think over a lot of things as you go. But you also feel this like immense sense of like a bond with him. Maybe a level of familiarity that you can't really share with anyone else. You recognize and can appreciate that sense of uncertainty, that feeling of like even knowing everything that you've been through, not being able to fully trust each other 100%, and that sense of the circumstances of my life have made it where I can't really afford to not go it alone.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nice to have at least one person who can even partially understand what I've been through and why things are the way that they are. And you just feel this kind of, it's weird, but it's this strengthened bond between the two of you, it seems like. You know what? Stop. Just stop for a second.
Yeah.
He's reaching into his a cloak again. I didn't know what the circumstances were going to be like the next time that we met. Obviously, it could have been cordial as this has been, or it would have been me trying to slit your throat. So, considering that it's a little bit on the nicer side for the moment, I started putting something together for you, just on the smallest chance that I would have the opportunity to actually deliver it to you, and you can make use of it. And I guess that there's no better time than now. The city of Passage, they've got this crystal set up at the front gates. It lets you like absorb a map into your mind. You didn't happen to go by that by any chance, did you?
Yes.
Okay. Did you use it? Do you have that map in your head?
Yeah.
Great. Is it okay if I'm not going to hurt you. I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. He pulls out a small purple crystal. Take this and press it hard against your forehead, if you don't mind.
All right. Reach up, grab it, and just press it.
It feels like your brain spins 360 degrees while still inside of your skull. It's a very nauseous feeling. I will need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Damn it. It was almost a 17, but it was a 7.
7. Yeah, you become extremely nauseous. Your vision becomes blurry. But you can feel that something is shifting in your brain. Triss kind of grabs your shoulder and kind of holds you steady and is like, okay, it's going to suck for a few seconds here, but that's because the crystal is adding the information to your brainstem. Okay. So that map, that mind map that you have, I want you to focus on it. Try to regain your composure, and I want you to just focus. Think about that map. Perceive it as much as you can. Do you see it in your mind?
I'll just kind of clamp down, and just try and focus on that map, trying to pull it up.
Okay. You do so. And in your mind's eye and on on roll 20, you see that map of the city of Passage laid out ahead of you. Triss says, okay. Now that you can picture it, I want you to expand your mind. Think wider. Think grander. Allow yourself to fill in the lakes, the valleys, the mountaintops. Allow your mind to continue to expand out so that you see more and more of the world. Can you do that for me?
I'll try. And picturing like the maps that Set has looked at and kind of like where it'll go from, a zoomed in portion to, oh, this is actually a portion of a larger map to a larger map. They'll kind of picture that and just start trying to pull out and like see a wider area.
As you do so, the map in your mind zooms out and you begin to see it. You see Lake Galifar just to the west, but it's all of Lake Galifar. You can begin to see the ridges of the Black Caps a little bit to the south. the Harrow Crowns and the Mistral Forest. All of it is sort of coming into view for you as you expand farther and farther out until in your mind you find yourself looking at the full map of Corvair. And as you do, you can hear Trist in your mind. Set. You're the seventh. I know you know this. There were others that came before you, and others that came after. The house made a call, sending out each of us to different regions of the continent in hopes of finding you and eliminating you. If you ever truly want to break free from the house's grasp, you'll have to seek them out. Our brothers and sisters in pain and torture, and remove them from the playing field. Here in the Duskwood, I was chasing after one of them. His name is Leo. Far to the north, in the Silverwood, at the base of the Star Peaks, there is a deep cave. Somewhere in that cave sits Agni. In the nation of Kubara, at the base of the river, beyond White Cliff, there, hidden away from the world, Atragon. These are the three that I've been able to locate so far. The fourth you already met. And with the help of your friends, you eliminated him as you saved the king. 3. I was in Rote for a reason. There are others, of course, but I haven't located them yet, and I don't know if I'll be able to. But I'll continue to try with what little time I have. But know that all of them are searching for you. And if they find you, they will not hesitate. You can either wait for them to find you, or you can bring the fight to them. It's your call. Your view shifts, and you are once again looking at Trist. I wish I could do more for you, but I don't think I can.
You've already done so much, Trist.
These markings, it seems like this is the path that your friends took. You should keep following them. When you struck the cauldron at that ceremony, did you see what happened to the cult leader? Where they went?
No, I think they got trapped under the cauldron. They got hit by it. I was focused on just disrupting it and getting out of there.
We can't leave anything up to chance. He is a dangerous individual. Keep following the path. I'm going to double back. See if I can find him. I only have any... Kind of reaches the hand of the neck. You can see now at the neckline, beneath the skin, but still somewhat visible, a metal band that sort of wraps around the neck. Almost like a collar that sits beneath the flesh instead of above it. Go find those druids and do whatever you need to do. The next time we meet, I need you to be ready. I'm not going to hold back.
Understood. See you then, Trist. And I'll hold out my hand to them.
He takes it.
As he reaches for it, I'll reach forward, grab the forearm, and just pull him in, press my forehead against his, and best of luck. And then just move on.
Set.
Back.
Despite everything, there's a faint memory I have of being a child. Somehow. And we used to tell jokes to each other and play games. We'll never get that back. But maybe we can guarantee that for others.
That's the plan.
All right.
Stops with us.
Very well. Go save the world, or whatever the hell you got to do.
And I'll just not even respond, just turn
Just
around
go.
and continue following the tracks.
You begin to sprint away. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
There's just no way.
That's an 85.
2 in a row? 2 in a row?
I really need to go get my physical dice again because clearly D&D
Oh.
Beyond hates my guts.
For real.
I
Your
need- I-
boot
I can use my physical dice now. Did I show you guys the ones that I got? I guess I haven't shown the stream.
Hey, I can't remember if you showed them these dice yet.
Oh my god.
I got these in Japan. Oh my god, my cat is not helping.
That's amazing.
They actually have like different pizza types written on the dice.
They do. They do.
Like different orders and stuff.
Let me see if I can get one out of here with my cat.
Thing.
It says meat lovers on it. I don't know if I can.
Yeah, I might not be able to get it to focus,
it's
but
not focused, but
Yeah,
I have
that's
pizza
awesome.
dice now. I'm gonna be using these.
Set.
Yes.
You feel the foot that was caught in the trap earlier. You feel it slip a bit. You look down and there's something sort of like half buried in the dirt, sort of sticking out. You pick it up, and it's a card. You kind of flip it around in your hand. It almost like a tarot card of some sort.
Which one is it?
You see an immense, bright, illusionary orb on the face of the card. It's warm to the touch. You can either take it or leave it.
I mean, seeing the card immediately invokes the recollection of the person who requested that we keep it in mind and collect them. So
Yes.
I will immediately take it, put it in my bag, and remind myself to take a look at it in further detail later.
All right. In that case, the card of the sun is now in your possession.
Ooh.
And also,
Oh wait.
you take 10 points of psychic damage
Okay.
as your mind is suddenly racked with pain.
Cool.
You feel like daggers piercing into your skull the second you reach more than a few feet away from Trist's position. He looks at you shocked. Set?
I'm fine. Do what you must. And I just push through it and continue moving.
You continue to move forward?
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
$13.
You take another 4 points of psychic damage.
Oh, dear.
Set, seriously, what's going on? Something with your head? The crystal affected or something?
I don't know. Every step I take, it's like daggers stabbing into my head.
He takes a few steps towards you, closing in the gap a bit. And as he does, you feel the pain immediately release from you.
It's as I move away from you.
What?
As we were trying to part. That is what was triggering the pain. As you started stepping closer, it started dissipating. Is that something with the crystal?
That shouldn't have. It's just a map fragment. It shouldn't have any kind of ability like that. He's going to make an insight. Stay where you are. I'll step back. He begins to walk backwards slowly, step by step. As he surpasses 5 feet from you,
Hmm.
you see he stops for a moment, and you feel well, it didn't hurt, but I felt that. There's definitely something there, some kind of a tether. I wonder. He takes another step back, but nothing happens. No more pain. Okay. I think I've broken it for now. I'm leaving. You should do the same.
Got it.
He takes off into the forest and disappears.
And I will start moving again. Kind of steeling myself for like against any potential more pain, but kind of just bracing, but then continuing on.
The rest of the group, Johannes and Silva with Chris, you have been continuing along with the druids for several minutes now, going deeper and deeper into the woods themselves. You are no longer able to see the sky above. The stars are absent. It is only the canopies overhead. You can hear the hooting of owls in the distance. You continue walking until the druids lead you to a tree. One of them places a hand on the tree and gently brings it down. As they do, where their fingers trace, a line of golden light begins to form.
Ooh.
As they trace down to the base of the tree, the light expands and opens, and the tree itself, the trunk, peels itself open, creating an entryway leading down into the earth. You foot north akeretuta untes. Silva translates this for the group. We shall venture down through here. This will take us where we need to go. All of you file in and find yourself in a narrow passageway that spirals down into the earth. Eventually plateauing, you are now many feet underground. The walls around you are earthy, mossy, damp, immense roots sticking out and interweaving through them. You walk until you find yourself at the end of this passage, and it opens out into a clearing. but you haven't moved upward at all. There is fresh grass here. You see bushes and trees. There's even a stream of water running through. You look up above you and you see a starry night sky. But when you look closer, you realize that it's not the sky. Appears to be the ceiling of an immense, impossibly large cave. And thousands upon thousands of gemstones blink as stars do, illuminating above.
Neat trick.
You walk deeper into the clearing, passing over the water. You see several druids watching you from the trees. Many of them arrows pointed and aimed at you. Until you reach a cliff. Across from you, a waterfall cascading down into the deep below where you cannot see. The druid that has been leading you turns to you. Yaito rakfum yaitatnu. Jesus eto megakmroto. Jesus vipn in naifashan. Silva knows the words. This is where we need to be. But in order to reach your destination, you must pass through the cleansing waters. You must allow yourself to fall. Do so, and you will be accepted into the fold. Set.
Yes.
Above ground, following the path, picking up your pace, you see one of the trees off in the distance. There appears to be an opening at the base of the tree, and a golden light surrounds it as it begins to close.
Yeah, just immediately like rushing.
All right. I want you to make an acrobatics check to be quick enough to leap through.
17.
Ooh.
Knowing that this is your chance, you rush forward. Your feet are deft, even with your injury. You summon the strength to full stamina rush through and just leap in as the opening is closing in around you. You find yourself in a passageway that spirals down deep into the earth. Back at the waterfall, you see the druid that was speaking to you before walks to the cliff. They look back at you and, never removing eye contact from you, they allow themselves to fall, disappearing from sight, their body vanishing into the waterfall.
I look over to Silva and I'm just like, what about Set? I'll go.
Do we
I like
both notice
pure-
this thing, or?
I mean, weird. He said to like just dive into the waterfall. Yeah, it will be accepted.
Yes. He said
So
that you would need to fall.
I look over the edge. How deep is it? How
You
big of a drop?
cannot perceive the bottom of this waterfall. You see the water cascading down a good 15, 20 feet, and then it is darkness after that.
I mean, I do think it would be wise to give Set a little bit of extra time.
Yeah, I don't think he would figure out how to jump in this waterfall.
No, we have pretty much lost any ability to leave any form of trail if we go through this. We can give him at least just a little, few more minutes.
Yeah, can we like? I'm gonna pace back and forth in front of the waterfall.
Okay.
Does
The
any sign?
the other
any sounds
druids that
outside?
are standing with you kind of look at you quizzically, like they're waiting for you to act. They're not sure why you're hesitating.
Where our friend might be.
They spoke in
Coming.
Sylvan only, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, largely in Sylvan.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll answer back. We have a friend that should be following up behind us shortly.
Could you relay a message potentially? Could they? That Set would know what to do.
I
if we
guess
heard it
yes.
from the
That is
druids.
valid. Would you be able to guide him into this if he were to appear?
Could I?
Sorry, I was gonna start describing. I was gonna say they're an elf.
Mm.
Fair skin, dark hair. How long is your hair normally? That I'm never fully sure because your art has the hood on it.
And also unmute so that we can hear your answer.
That's a great question. I feel like they have longer hair, but it's usually like pulled back and like kept out of the way, so it's not going to be super noticeable like lengthwise.
Okay, that's still fair though. So just kind of denote like, yeah, elf. They have a bit darker hair, or a bit longer hair, brown. I mean, they at least should, if you can't speak to him, he should at least be known as Set.
Set. Yaito from Kumarata. If we can locate them, we shall guide them.
If he's, I mean, from what I know of him, he likely should find us here. I say that fully unknowing of the horrid ones that Set has been rolling. Regardless. Yes, as far as I know, they should be able to catch up with us. But would they, if we go in this now, would they be able to follow us through it?
We can provide them the same guidance we have given you.
If you don't mind, we'll still give it a few more minutes. But if they do not show up, then we'll go in.
You hear from the distance. You see two druids running forward. Someone is approaching. Someone who came in after us, but we don't know who they are. Describe them. Dark cloak. Slight gait to their walk. They appear to have been injured on one foot.
I guess. I mean, that
Hood
part,
over the head. Cannot read the expressions.
that sounds like them, though the injury is new.
Should we kill them?
Immediately
Guard
ready to
the
be
entrance.
like, immediately ready to be like, no, no, no.
They hold a hand up to you. Weapons at the ready. Do not fire unless I command. We wait. Set. You find yourself in a clearing. Green grass below you, several trees around you, and an enormous starlit sky up above, up overhead. You look around, the glint of these many lights in the sky above, twinkling, looking down with your existing perception. Similar glints of light in some of the trees surrounding you. The glint of metal. You're being watched.
Kind of taking a look around, just like raising my hands up.
I know when I lost.
Like, I'll call out. I'm just looking to reunite with my friends. I followed their tracks this way.
From the grass below and from the tree above, no fewer than 16 figures appear. All of them armed, some with bows, others with staffs, a few even with swords. All of them appear at once, watching you, waiting.
Are you talking to me?
I was like, that movie freaked out. That sound freaked me out.
What are they doing?
Doesn't even sound like Sylvan at this point.
No. Sounds like spiders.
Not intentional.
I was expecting one to just like drop.
You see one of the druids look to the other. The other responds. They both step forward simultaneously. Rush forward. Closing the distance 15 feet, 10 feet, 5 feet. Stop. Weapons pointed directly at you.
Still have my hands raised.
Provide your name.
Set.
Ingbar. You see the druids part, stepping aside. And you can now see, just on the other side there's an enormous waterfall cascading down and a cliff on the side nearest to you. And on that side, you recognize the familiar faces of your traveling party.
and just
Oh.
an immediate like tension releases, and just oh.
I see you made it, Seth. Did everything go okay? What happened with the cult?
There's a lot happened. Trist is figuring out what happened to the cult leader. Their ritual was disturbed sufficiently. We should really clue everyone in once we are with the leaders of this druid clan.
All right. Well,
Let's
you'll
keep
have
moving.
to-
What do
you'll
we have to do?
Follow us.
I'm gonna just after Seth says, "What do we have to do?" I'm gonna smile and just like salute and then fall backwards
Show
off
off.
the cliff.
I'll literally just okay, and just literally walk forward and just fall.
No questions asked at all.
All right. Well, I expected there to be some more questions to that, but I guess here we are. Okay.
One of the druids looks to you, Silva, before you go. The one that was speaking before. Nere says for Diego. Thelonis if me. Yeah. There's a softness to the voice now that wasn't there before. I am glad you're here. Young carrier of the Fae. Where you walk, Thalanis follows you. You'll be safe here.
I appreciate that.
Nitovo more kavnaito. You need only fall. Your wings will catch you.
I will fall through like as I follow suit.
You do. Allowing your weight to carry you down, you fall. But you never feel the water hit you. You fall through darkness until it becomes light. And as your body uprights itself, you are all now standing in green fields once again. Laid out before you, you see a beautiful grove. A set of stone steps that lead up to an enormous circle made from the earth. Large stone arches positioned on either side. Carved into the walls themselves, enormous effigies of humanoid figures that you do not recognize. In the middle of this grove, this circle, a field of flowers. You see a lone figure. Long beard, bald head. They wear robes, cascading down into the flowers. They sit among them, and to their side, a small stone structure. A singular rod-like shape made of solid stone reaches out at an angle a good 8 to 10 feet into the air, pointed directly at a small beam of light that emits from the ceiling. The beam of light connecting with the rod. At the corners, two immense, very large oak trees. Their leaves still on them. The figure in the middle of the grove looks to all of you and gestures for you to come forward. Will you do so?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm willing to accept some hospitality.
What'd you say?
Approaching the figure,
Except, I don't know. I was like, hospitality is not the right word, but like, I'll just do what they say at this point. Like, I'm not gonna like ignore any of their
I thought you
customs.
said something about
Oh.
like being out of a 6 out of hospitality. So that's where I was
Oh.
like, what?
What the hell? That guy said?
given everything that's happened, I'm gonna give you guys like a light 6 on your Yelp review in terms of your hospitality. You know, it could be a little bit better, but you're making strides to improve it. But it's a rough start. Rough start. You approach this figure, stepping into the field of flowers. The first thing you notice is that the figure has a cloth wrapped around their eyes, obscuring their vision. The second thing you notice is that their bottom jaw is missing.
Oof.
The ears are gone. Only the smoothness of the head.
Oh.
The hand goes down, dipping into the flowers, pulling a tulip from them, holding it to their nose, taking in a breath, and then laying it back down into the field. The head turns to all of you. And you hear a voice
Do we actually hear
that
it?
seems
Like,
to
speak, or is it,
emanate
like, in our head? Oh, what were we gonna say?
from all around you instead of from the speaker directly. Welcome, friends. You sit now in the moonstruck field. Please, take a seat amongst the flowers. We have much to discuss.
Do are the flowers like special? Like, would I notice them, or let any of us know what these flowers are? That sounds like a very
Make
important name.
here's what we'll do. If you want to discern the nature of the flowers themselves, you're going to make me a nature check. If
Okay.
you're trying to determine if there is a particular type of magic emanating from these flowers, you're going to make an arcana check.
I'm terrible at
If you
both,
want
but
to
I would
speak to the
rather.
flowers and see if they respond back, you're going to make an animal handling check.
You know what?
Set literally goes and sits down.
I'll make an
0
Arcana.
questions.
Mhm.
I'm so interested by the animal handling check. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna
Okay.
say like, I guess I'll take a seat right here next to you. Oh wait, no. Oh, I wanted to roll my real d20. That's okay. It's a 9.
Ah,
I forgot to roll my real d20. I'm so used to not having real dice here.
you speak to the flower, but it does not say anything back to you.
Now I just look crazy.
Chris, walking up next to you to take a seat, goes, "That seems fun. Let me try. Hello, flowers. May I sit here?" You hear from one of the tulips below him. You hear a sound emanate from it as it goes.
What? Why
He
silent
kind of
for
gives.
me?
He kind of gives you. He looks to you and he just kind of goes. And
Give a thumbs up back.
he will take a seat next to the tulip.
I literally make that like that video of Kiryu in Gaiden when he like loses the pocket racing circuit and he's like,
Yeah.
and then he like looks down and starts crying. Like that's me since the flower
Mhm.
didn't talk back to me.
All right.
You
Silva,
know, at
was
least
there
it's
a...
not you at the at least you're not Kiryu at the end of Gaiden.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't
All
do
right
that.
now.
An ugly one.
Don't make me cry.
That's an ugly one. That's an ugly
Yep.
cry.
There's no iPads here. Don't worry. Silva, was there a roll that you wanted to make? Any kind of check you wanted to make here?
I mean, I was kind of like, I feel like one of those where it's always in that weird realm of like, you know, feel as though they there's an easy potential bait with they like flowers. But I've also had my share of time worrying about what the flowers think. And I'll just gently rest upon the flowers.
The flowers accept you. You don't know how you know that, but you know. The figure sitting with you gestures outward again, and then hand to the chest. They turn slightly, and you can now see that the other arm is missing. Ereto mut oforkerute sufritsmfrea tisurrik artik bar korufisi. Again, you hear the voice not from the figure, but from all around you. Ikbar is my name. I am the watcher of this grove. I do not leave, only stay and observe and wait. And I have been waiting for you for some time. Please, tell me why you are here, even if it is due to grave circumstances.
Well,
Yeah. Scylla, did you want to explain or?
yeah, I mean, we are here to help. I mean, I guess we are here for two things. First, foremost, the thing that we are here that represents us all is that we are here to help deal with the Emerald Claw. However,
Ufiaito Korosofen Chloe. This. I am aware of the Emerald Claw. Please continue.
in doing so, I had an original attempt to speak with and head home to the King of Summer. However, I hear a grave rumor about this fact, and I wish to see that truth for myself.
The outside the outside of me. Sumer usifim ses. I suffer me the night of me. With every word, the flowers around you move a bit as if they are blowing in a non-existent breeze. And as they move and shift, the words of the figure that are emanating around you seem to shift slightly as well, becoming more and more common, decipherable. Ifus knife and seed, and I understands Inobofo, the king. Yes. It is good to see you here, child of the Summer King. Outsiders have a saying, a joke. They refer to those of ignorance as sweet summer children. Yes, but that is what you are. A sweet summer child. You have heard rumors that the Summer King is no more. We have heard the same. It is our hope that should these rumors be true, we can do as much as possible to mitigate an upset of the order of the court of Thelanis. When was the last time you spoke to the Summer King?
How long ago was it that the war started? Well, I guess not the
This
start.
war?
I guess not the war start because I joined in
I was
the
going to say
middle of it.
that's over 100 years ago we're talking
Yeah,
about.
and I joined in the middle of it. When did it end?
The war ended with the signing of the Treaty of Thronehold. That was, I'm pretty sure I've got it right here. Yeah, it's been over a decade at this point. Or sorry, not over a decade, less than a decade. Because the current year is 999 YK.
Yes, so
Yeah, so it's been a few years now since the ending of the war.
probably about over a decade and a half ago,
Mm,
close to 2, maybe. I didn't really have the year when I left.
did he ever tell you anything of the Autumn Queen, my child?
Not not nearly as much. Only know of the name, but not of its not of its meaning.
Do you at least recall the Queen of Winter? The Prince of Frost, even? Shansiren? Shantira? Do any of these names mean anything to you now? In your current form?
No, not really.
I speak of Archfey.
Correct. That is about
Very
as much as I
powerful
know
ones
of
at
them.
that.
Yes. That is about as much as I know of them. While the king was willing to bestow me many a great lesson, it was not the lessons of his court, but rather in his politics, but more lessons for me to survive and live on.
You were not meant to succeed the throne?
He let me leave, didn't he? I would have thought not. I mean, I was an outcast after all. He never looked at me that way, but it was still the truth nonetheless.
But given the opportunity, you would have returned?
I mean, it's been quite some time enough. The visit was never out of the question.
You have perhaps been informed that the King of Summer has died, and that a being identifying themselves as the Queen of Autumn intends to take his place. Know this, Summer Child. The Autumn Queen is not an Archfey, and was never part of the Thalanis court. We know not where they came from, only that they have eyes for the throne itself, and that they have been targeting any Fae that could potentially prevent them from reaching that position.
That would explain the people that had come from Minehead.
It would seem you are perceived as a threat. Congratulations.
I don't know that I should. I guess I can look at it as flattering, though.
You have every reason to. To be seen as such means you are seen as powerful, capable of great change, influence. Who among you would not want such power? Is that not what you all seek?
Not entirely, no.
Then what do you seek, summer child?
I don't seek the power, but I seek the calling. Whatever that means. Now, if it were to, if that calling were for me to protect the realm, as somebody who is not an archfey, seeking the power of an archfey, little understanding to me of what an archfey can do. An archfey is known as Trixerus. I don't know if that's a word. Untrustworthy. But that's to mortals. But if a mortal seeks to take the power of an archfey, then they are likely to be untrustworthy to both fey and mortal, and thus are perceived as a great threat.
Here and now, do you consider yourself trusting of the Fae?
Of the, I mean, in general, of course not. Given that the
And in a
archfey may serve their denizens, but that does not mean that their denizens serve each other. I learned that very quickly.
in a moment of need, could they trust you?
Unfortunately, yes, but that may be different. I was too trustworthy, and thus it was easy for other fairies to take advantage of.
The four of you, are you familiar with the name Oleon?
Oleon.
Has it been spoken in your midst?
Not that I recall. You're muted, Kevin.
It's a great question. Has it?
I don't think I don't remember one. I could make a history check, but I don't believe we've...
Go ahead and make a history check.
I can use my real dice. I get plus
Are
0.
you fucking kidding me?
I got a 5.
I got 68.
Fucking
3.
I'm not rolling for the rest of the session. I hope you.
How about this? How about this?
3.
Because Bennett already rolled, I will say that Set did not need to roll necessarily. And if you want to
What
make
about
that
me?
a mulligan, you can.
What about me?
Ooh.
Same for you, but also let me know what you rolled in case you want to keep it.
Unbelievable.
61.
Okay. Yeah. If the two of you want to take a mulligan,
Thank you. I'll take that mulligan.
Yeah.
yeah. We'll pretend that didn't happen. Johannes with a 5.
Yes.
The name sounds familiar to you. In fact, you think you've heard it recently. Might have even been one of the druids that mentioned it to you. Something about an Oleon that they were trying to protect, but you can't remember why or what they were doing. It's all a blur.
I'm just gonna say no so that he can give me the recap. Because I honestly I'll say I've heard the name, but I don't know their importance.
Yes, I unfortunately don't seem to remember either.
Oleon is the high druid of the Wardens of the Wood. In many ways, he is the leader of the Eldeen Reaches as it exists in this world. We believe that this cult, this Emerald Claw, intends to find Oleon and destroy him, removing him from his place of power. With Oleon out of the way, they could potentially engage in a direct attack upon Thalanis itself.
Oh.
Because of this, Oleon has gone into hiding.
I mean, sure, to definitely take care of one's safety, but it does feel rather odd to think that even with this Olean's power, that they could take over Thalanis. I mean, that's
How
an
powerful
entire
is this
realm
cult?
of magic. I think you would have an easier time taking over the material realm that we live in or that we are in now, far easier with the power that would need to take over the entirety of Thalanis.
It baffles us as well, Summer Child. This is far beyond the reach of your military conquests of old. We do not know the full extent of what it is they plan to do, only that they intended to summon something on this night. Something that would aid them in their attempts to claim the Fey Court for themselves.
Whatever that was, it sounds like set halted or at least delayed that.
Yeah, I do believe that I sufficiently interrupted their ritual.
Interrupted, perhaps. But I fear with your actions it may have succeeded.
What do you mean?
Because of my actions, or like I didn't do something bad, right?
My spies speak of an elixir crafted from dark magic and fed the souls of mortals. A bastard formula of greed and power, conjured within a cauldron and waiting for a human vessel to inhabit. I ask you, did you see such an elixir? Set. Make an insight check for me.
Insight. That's a dirty 20.
Ooh. I like how it's just two opposite ends of the spectrum for you today. Like highest roll you could possibly get, or nat one.
Set, do you see it in your mind's eye? Almost as clearly as you saw the map before. An enormous cauldron. Something inside of it. The leader of the cult members preparing to reach a hand down into the cauldron. Your arrow striking true, and the cauldron thrown from its position, its contents erupting forward and covering the cult leader, throwing them back.
Shit.
We fear the damnable elixir has found a host. A willing one.
I have to go take the dog out. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna listen in.
Just leave Kumo in your place.
Yeah, just leave Kumo. Kumo, you sit among the tulips. Yes, you. Kumo, I need you to roll an animal handling check with advantage.
Seeing as you are one. Like, yo, where do I get the dice?
It's
I ain't
okay.
got-
Take your
I
time.
ain't got thumbs to pick them up with.
Big yawn.
Anyway. Um,
So what you're saying is I didn't disrupt their ritual at all, and in fact, just they ended up completing it anyways, regardless of what I did.
We do not know for certain, but it is possible. And
I
if
mean, hey,
so,
at least you didn't help it. How you can feel better about.
have you all been watching the moons as of late?
I mean, we're aware that they're incredibly wrong. So, in that much, yes.
Was it the entire group that heard their discussion of them being the ones that have messed it up, or was that just something I heard while I was skulking around waiting to make my shot?
That's a great question. I don't
They
recall.
would have, the rest of the group had moved far enough away at that point. Because they started moving away before you took that shot.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So they had moved far enough away that they had not directly seen you firing the bolt at the cauldron. They only would have heard the shouts of the cult members as what happened and everyone began to split away.
Okay. I'll kind of give like a very brief like a I mean, you wouldn't have heard it, but the cult members themselves were saying that they had been the ones to change the moons. Like they had invested a lot of time and energy into making these changes.
The moons are very important. I'm sure you do not need me to tell you that. This shifting of the moons of Eberron appears to be a key part of their plan. We believe that should they alter the moons any further, they could influence the very nature of the world of Eberron itself. And by doing so, remove the Fae's power entirely. But we cannot imagine to what ends other than to take control of the Fae themselves. Though again, this seems an immense goal for a seemingly small group such as themselves. When we speak of the moons, children, they are more than orbital bodies surrounding Eberron. We believe them to be spirits, powerful spirits. They are the reason for the existence of shifters, and their power holds great influence over those who are Dragonmark. For the moons themselves exist even beyond the Ring of Sybaris, and existed long before the progenitor dragons. Look upward. A hand is waved, and the immense, sparkling sky above you shifts. And now you see the actual night sky. Do you see any moons now?
Do we?
I say, do we? Okay. No. There are none.
And yet we should. 3 of them. But there are none. Something truly strange is happening. Not just here, but all across your world. tell me this. If the cult of the Emerald Claw does intend some greater evil, if this thing that they summon is to be used to destroy the Fey Court from within, would you be able to stand by us in protecting it? Or would you walk away?
I mean, we've come this far, haven't we?
Well, and I feel this is all tied to figuring out this mystery with King of Summer. I feel obliged in many aspects.
Where do you believe you are right now?
I mean, giving some of your tone, I definitely don't, or your phrasing, I definitely do not believe that we are in the mortal realm any longer. But I do, I guess, wonder if we are in it, but either a pocket or Thalanis itself.
You no longer sit in the dusk woods where you traveled from. Indeed, we are currently in Greenheart, deep in the Eldine reaches. Not too far from where you once considered home. This is where the Wardens of the Wood have always resided, along with Olean. But I have kept myself well hidden. Even as I speak to you now. The figure sitting in the flowers with you lifts another flower up, then allows it to scatter. It drifts along on a non-existent breeze over to one of the great oak trees. And you see the tree start to move. It shifts and turns in place. You hear the sound of the ground crumbling and moving around it, roots upturned. You see enormous tree appendages reach out. The trunk lifting into the air and giving way to large legs. A large bipedal tree, a great pine, awakens, moving from its position, and then kneeling down next to you. A good 25, 30 feet tall. It bends down and the voice you have heard finds its origin. I am Oleon, Archdruid of the Eldine Reaches, Great Pine Tree, and High Warden.
Yes.
It's the guy. Oh, Jack
him.
points.
This is your true form?
Indeed. Us great pine trees were once many. We harbored many duties throughout the Fey realm. But times have changed. Since the start of my reign, in your time, 958? Many things have changed, yes. I am here now. And I am here among the moon speakers and the green singers. For many of the wardens of the wood have been killed. And I know that they come for me next.
Well, we can't let that happen. Seems like untold destruction would happen.
It was I who taught the wardens of the wood the marks. Trails I have created in the Eldine Reaches have allowed wardens to come and go from Thelanis as they please. These trails do not appear to just any mortal man. But now they are a danger. And should I be taken from this world, perhaps someone could use these marks to reach Thelanis without me.
The
How would we
marks,
know?
like, not like you're not referring to dragon marks. You always thought those stemmed from dragons.
Sweet summer child, my marks began as cairns, bent saplings, and expanded into ley lines, fields, gateways. The dragon marks are another thing entirely, but they should not be neglected.
Well, you said they remain hidden to most mortals. Are you saying that the our group might be able to not be able to see them, or how will we know what to look for?
You have been able to follow them here because the moon speakers were guiding your way. Without them, well, I suppose only one of you carries the blood needed to see them.
I look at Silva.
Chris looks at Set.
Set looks at me. It's just like a circle.
I look at Kuma.
He's being very annoying. He keeps sitting on my mute key, which should be really hard to hit, considering it's like control and then like the tilde button, but he's done it like multiple
Cats will
times.
find a way.
Yeah.
He's popped up. He came up like, "Yo, you talking shit?"
The dragon marks are also passed through bloodline. So they are similar in that way. But how they manifest and what they allow one to do are very different. I do wonder if those who seek to make use of the marks I have created may perhaps bear marks of their own.
Are you saying it can only be seen by those with a dragon mark?
Not to Dragonmark, but
Oleon's mark.
I did not think this the case before. I long believed that only those who shared the blood of the Fey Court could see them. But this order, these cultists, their plans do seem to involve the dragon marks in some way. And I fear they've found a connection where I did not.
A connection.
I spoke before of the Ring of Sybaris. Dragon shards which encircle the planet of Eberron. Beyond them lie the moons themselves. But there are some here in your world who bear marks that have been named directly after the progenitor, Sybaris itself. They are considered to be far more powerful than most dragon marks that have been seen through time.
Is there any? Does anyone know who these people might be?
is it possible that? I mean, would these people have to have been that would have been given by your mark or anything like that? Would they have to have been born in this realm?
Presumably so.
Because yes, because while I likely would be able to see it myself, given that I have, the blood of the Fae within me, I don't think that would make me, though I'm a carrier of a mark, given that well, not born here.
I wish I knew more on this to speak of it for you. This possible connection, I am not sure how powerful it actually is, or if it even truly exists. I only have what my eyes and ears out in the world have told me. They speak of dealings between the Dragonmark houses. There are more members to this cult than might be easily recognized. And the being that they intended to summon, the thing, is a thing of war.
Oh.
Constant, unyielding war. And when it arrives, it brings with it a sea of red that will enshroud the entirety of Eberron.
Be the red. It's the thing, guys. It's the thing.
Oh yeah, that's what that the deer told us about, right?
Yes, I
believe so.
feel.
Also, wasn't the moon? Wasn't the am I crazy? I'm trying to remember because it's been a while.
Well,
Wasn't
yeah,
there
there
something wrong
was.
with the moon of war?
That was the moon. It was,
Okay.
or at least that we were seeing.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be like
Right.
the moon of shadow, or I can't remember exactly, but yeah.
Yeah, you were seeing the moon of war at a time when it shouldn't be visible.
Yes. I
Hmm.
I do feel, though, then I must ask, in different aspects, each of us have seen images of this multi-eyed deer that has warned us of coming red. Do you know what this deer being is?
I do not. What you describe, I hear for the first time.
Well, that unfortunately makes it where we don't really have an answer in that realm or still.
I would ask this of you,
Mhm.
though I know you came here because you had already suffered. From this night on, there will be no more attacks from the Moon Speakers. Myself and the Green Singers will see to this. Here in this time of potential calamity, the various druids of the Reaches are beginning to unite. Our tribes coming together as they have not done previously. We will ensure that no further attack comes to your city. But I ask that you continue to look into this cult of the Emerald Claw. Find their reasoning. And even, if possible, stop them. If you can aid us, I swear that I will provide you a safe passage back to Thalanis. So you may see where your father has been buried.
So it is true. You spoke only in speculation before, but now it appears you are telling me it is true.
I needed to know that I could trust you. And I do now. Will you accept? May I count on you to aid us?
Yes. One way or another, this is part of a threat that now reaches. I mean, while obviously this greatly affects me, it very clearly, I'll look to the rest of the group, does affect all of us.
It does, yes.
You should be rewarded for taking on this task. So I shall do so. Please, pluck a flower from this field. Consume it. You shall be imbued with the power of the Eldin Reaches.
All of us?
All of you, of course. Though you are not of Fey origin, it is you who stand beside your Fey compatriot. I would wish all of you to be given this boon.
Okay. I'm gonna look down at the flower near me. I'm just gonna whisper to it. Sorry about this. And I'm gonna pluck it.
All right. You pluck the flower, holding it in your hand. Do you consume it?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. That's what Oleon's had to do.
I'm gonna
I
do
trust-
it.
I trust big old trees. Has anyone ever seen like a big old tree that like lies to you and tricks you? Never. It's never happened.
Mm.
I mean, I'll do the same. Yes.
I assume the same for you as well, Seth.
Yeah.
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 The four of you consume the flowers of the grove of the great druid. And you feel a power rise up within you. A change in the air that seems to reverberate in your soul. You are now level 8.
Woohoo!
Woo. Yahoo.
Yes.
You can take this time now to change your level.
Oh boy.
And we're going from level 6 to level 8. Damn.
Level 8, huh?
Level 8.
Damn.
As you do so, consuming the flowers, Olean sits with you in contemplative silence. The rest of the flowers continuing to gently flow. The night sky continuing to shine above you. You have not really been allowed a moment like this in a while.
Mm-hmm.
An opportunity to truly sit and exist without having to think or plan or act, to just be part of the world for even a moment. The figure in front of you, you see that they bring their hand up, and as they do, these two fingers fall away. The great tree notices you see this and says, "Do not worry. Igthar is part of this grove. As its fruits are consumed, so is he. Eventually, he will no longer be here, and someone else will take his place as its protector. It may seem cruel, but it is a natural part of life that it must eventually end so that something else can take its place. This is a cycle that has permeated Eberron for thousands of years. If we restore the balance of these moons, upset the actions of this cold, we can yet ensure that that cycle remains unchanged. It has already changed once, and I hope it never happens again."
I would as well.
There are times, it's funny. I will sometimes choose to walk the surface among the mortals. I visited a land that was beautiful, full of promise and growth. And I was able to see it destroyed. I watched as it was obliterated, wiped away from Eberron's face. There has been no regrowth where the skeletal remains of that land stand. It is as if death itself no longer existed there, not just life.
Where's that?
They called this land Sire.
Sire.
Are you referring to the parts of the Mournlands?
How quickly we forget. But yes, the Mournlands had a name before, just as it had cities and people.
Yes, Sire.
You mentioned the deer. A deer with eyes?
6 of them.
Yes.
Many red eyes.
All of us on our journey have seen it. More than once. Don't really know what it's trying to communicate to us.
What if it's her?
Her?
Do not mind me. I am 4,000 years old at this point. Sometimes my mind will wander. Should you ever find yourself in the Mournlands, perhaps, watch for this deer. Should you converse with it, ask her if she remembers me.
We can do that.
Yeah, I mean, if we are capable of setting foot within that land, sure. But as it stands, it is it is believed if we do so that is effectively suicide to enter.
I gaze into your memories here and now, sweet summer child. He does not walk with you anymore, but there was once someone in your midst who had traveled the Mournlands to be with you. Perhaps if you ever see him again someday, you may ask him how his travels went. Tough little dwarf, that one.
You know what is funny? I was expecting it to be Dak, and then you were like, and then I was gonna jokingly say that it was Nathaniel, and then you said that. I'm like, ah, shit. I
Ah.
would have been right.
You would have been.
I wanted to be wrong.
Yes. And his nephew. Suppose they both would know a thing or two about that. Oh well.
No, they're not actually related.
A conversation for another time, should you ever see them again.
I definitely would think so.
It is getting late. You may return back to your world. The druids of the moon speakers, and the green singers, and the gatekeepers, all shall greet you as an ally. They will assist you in any way they can. But I hereby charge you as honorary protectors of the Fey realm.
I didn't expect this with my resume, but we'll do our best, Olian.
Not a thought you
Nature
had for a
extends
chef.
far beyond the land, young one, even to the sea. Why would it not include you, young sailor?
You know quite a bit, old tree.
I am old.
I sit up, start and stand, stretch. Ugh.
Should you need me again, we will be able to find each other. But for now, return to your home. There is much to be done.
Okay. Do I know intrinsically the way to the exit?
No,
It's gonna
but
be
a
like,
druid
hey,
does appear at your side and gestures a hand to show you the way back.
that is like a very funny idea of just like, you may go, and then just be like,
Where?
so is it that way? Like,
Where's the door?
yeah, okay, I'll follow the druid.
You guys got MapQuest down here? or what?
Yeah, I don't have much signal on.
A druid appears beside you to guide the way. Scruffy beard. Their hair is thick and matted, tied back in locks. Strong, blackish brown eyes. This way, protectors.
We'll follow your lead.
He guides you into darkness, but brief. And you find yourselves returned to that cliffside you came from before. You hear the rushing water of the waterfall behind you. And as you look out into the fields, you see the dozens of druids that you had seen previously, scattered among the trees, unmoving, covered in blood, dead.
Once again, I was gonna be like, "Oh shit, they died," because I thought they were just like watching it. Fuck.
Oh.
The druid beside you steps away.
What happened?
In what way does he?
Disaster,
I was gonna say, in
it
what
looks
way
like.
does he step away? I was like, does he like?
I thought, is he run away or?
Is he like
No,
getting shifty? Like,
The eyes are moving from body to body. He's looking to all of them. Disaster. All these people. The end of an arduous hunt. Wouldn't you say, Seven?
come on, we haven't rested. Fuck.
This is the druid saying that.
It is the druid.
I'll look at them and Leo.
Darling, I have finally found my prey. You see him immediately grow and shift. The muscles bulge as fur and mange grows over them. The hands turning into claws, shifting, contorting. The face turning into that of a lion. The eyes a piercing red. My prey. And that is where we will leave off.
Oh.
Well, man.
The next time we meet,
Why do we keep having to go into these encounters?
you shall face Leo. And you shall do so thanks to the powers of the great pine tree and the grove of flowers, having experienced a full rest
Okay.
Oh, thank goodness.
and increased your levels by 2.
I've hit the long rest button.
Ugh.
And we will see if our party can use this to their advantage next time. Until then, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for playing. And we'll see you next month.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.